Welcome. This is our Wednesday, March 16, 2016 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, Georgetown Seawall roads being upgraded, botanical gardens to return to its former glory, and regional officials and councillors asked to cooperate for the greater good of Guyana. I am your host, Azim Khan. Stay tuned as we bring you the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. This is the Government News Brief. Regional councillors must cooperate for the betterment of the regions and for the good of all Guyana. This is the message of Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan.
Failure of the regional chairperson to attend events when President Granger is present has not gone unnoticed. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan recently addressed the matter at two separate meetings, one with the councillors of Region 5 and the other was when he met councillors of Region 6.
These are not always easy issues when we have two opposite sides. I mean, I have seen it myself as a member of the last parliament, where the divisions seem very difficult to break down these barriers, but it behoves us, it is incumbent upon us to work to be able to break down these barriers and to work together in a cooperative and a collaborative manner.
The RDC councillors were reminded that the May 2015 general and regional elections have come and gone, and that government wants to get on with the business of serving all the people.
Until we can break away from those conditions, then what we'll be doing is we'll be handicapping ourselves to be able to effectively create the conditions and the social cohesion and the harmony in relations among ourselves that will basically prevent our best human talent from contributing to public life and to be able to improve our conditions.
In Region 5, an impasse has developed where the council has been unable to convene meetings for 2 months because of the differences between the government and opposition councillors. President David Granger, in his efforts to advance the development of the country, has repeatedly said he is the president of all Guyana. For this Government News Brief, I am Namela Rowe.
Commuters who gather at the Georgetown Seawalls either for an afternoon stroll, to exercise or to relax with family and friends will now benefit from improved facilities. Find out what is happening in this report.
The entire seawall road from Camp Street to Blasindian Road is currently being resurfaced by the Special Project Unit of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. The project is scheduled to be completed by Thursday, March 17.
Laying of asphalted concrete, 2 inches thick. When it compact, you would get 1.5 inches. The road was neglected for years and had a lot of potholes. We correct those potholes before we commence our pavement.
The resurfacing of the seawall road is one of the many projects being done by the ministry. Similar works have been completed in Tugville, Tiger Bay, and West Rampersaud.
If you come here from early morning, the traffic flow here, and it would ease the congestion on Carifest Avenue by upgrading and to get this road here to use.
The plan is to transform the seawalls into a state-of-the-art waterfront facility which will be on par with others in the Caribbean. The project will include boardwalks, recreational areas, modernized ramps for ferries and water taxis, and a dockyard for yachts. This infrastructural development will target areas in Kitty, Kingston, Stabroek, Vredenhoop, Supinam, and Skeldon. It will see government expending approximately $1.6 billion to complete it.
Engineers from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure continue to visit communities in and around Georgetown to assess the state of infrastructure and to make the necessary interventions. Residents who have roads that are in deplorable state are asked to contact the Ministry's Special Projects Unit on telephone number 225-7420. Engineers will visit, make an assessment, and follow up with the necessary interventions. Rehabilitation works are currently ongoing at the Botanical Gardens to return the park to its former glory. Find out what is being done in this report.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman says the botanical gardens must return to a place of botany. The beautification works to achieve this and put the gardens on show for Guyana's 50th independence celebrations are ongoing.
There is work being done to improve the drainage because one of the issues that the botanical gardens face is flooding. Because as the city floods, here floods, so we're creating new drains, opening some culverts which we found that were buried for many years. We're opening those up and we're clearing away a lot of the bush that has been allowed to just grow up.
The Botanical Gardens is recognized as a bird sanctuary, and the minister gave the assurance that during the rehabilitation works, care will be taken to ensure that habitats are not disturbed.
So even as we clear, we want to ensure that the birds are not unduly displaced. So we're not going to, tear down everything, but certainly the place has to be cleared up and cleaned up.
The Botanical Gardens in the heart of Georgetown is home to the Seven Ponds Monument, Manatee Ponds, and the world's largest water lily, the Victoria Regia, and close to 200 bird species. The Botanical Gardens was established in 1878 and is laid out on 185 acres of land. With this, government news brief, I'm Shanaza Lowe reporting.
Hinterland and outlying communities can expect better services to help them get rid of mosquitoes. More in this report.
During a recent meeting with Hinterland Regional Health Officers, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Shamdeo Persaud encouraged greater emphasis in vector control measures in hinterland regions.
We know that we are going through this transition. We know that we are still challenged when it comes to the emerging infectious diseases like Zika, like chikungunya, even though they're not prevalent in many of the hinterland regions because of the prevalence of that Aedes mosquito. We find more and more in the built-up areas in the hinterland regions, like for example at Port Kaituma and so on, that where people live clustered, that Aedes are now becoming normal, as opposed to Anopheles, which is the regular malaria mosquito that were common in those regions. So places like Bartica, all the little urban centers that are emerging across the hinterland, my advice to the Director of Vector Control is that we should treat these like coastal areas.
In a telephone interview with the Government Information Agency, the Chief Medical Officer said fogging, spraying, and the use of insecticidal sprays will now be encouraged in the hinterland communities. He explained that areas like Port Kaituma and Madhya have only been treated for dengue and malaria, but these areas also breed the Aedes aegypti mosquito. However, they have not been mapped. The Aedes mosquito is a transmitter of various vector-borne diseases, including chikungunya and Zika. Due to the presence of the mosquito, these areas must now be treated like the coastland, where there is fogging and spraying. For this government news brief, Shivanie Rampersaud reporting.
GINA has commenced a series of pictorial exhibitions focusing on Guyana's independence era. The exhibitions are held at various locations under the theme, "A Look Back at the Birth of a Nation." The exhibition is informative, educational, and is ideal for school-aged children. If you are interested in having GINA's exhibition at your school or event, please contact us on telephone numbers 226-6715 or 225-4255. We are also seeking your assistance to compile a documentary on Guyana's independence. If you were at the National Park on May 26, 1966, or any other independence activity, share your experience with us. Call us on 225-3119. Today, Mrs. Sita Nagamutu, wife of Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, shared Easter cheer with children of the Tommy Reed Rehabilitation Center. Here is the excitement. Today, the children of the Harold B. Davis Special School started the Easter season with Mrs. Sita Nagamutu, wife of the Prime Minister. They were at the Everest Cricket Ground. Mrs. Nagamutu brought kites and meals for the children.
I was really happy to view what the children did, their handicraft, their floral arrangements, their display of food items and so on. So we must remember that we always have to remember that no child must be left behind. That even though these children they have certain disabilities. There are many other things that they can do, and we have to help them to achieve these goals.
The Harold B. Davis Special School, which is within the Tolmy Reed Rehabilitation Center, accommodates 62 students, both resident and non-resident. There are 7 teachers and 2 aides. The school offers the 4 core subjects: English, mathematics, science, and social studies. It also offers information technology, art and craft, agricultural science, and music and movement. The delivery of the subjects is tailored to meet the special needs of the students. Last Monday, Mrs. Sita Nagamutu visited the Rockstone community in Region 10, where she toured the community, engaged the children, and shared gifts. This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. You can find the Government News Brief along with all other GINA programs on our website. Please subscribe to our website and YouTube channel and like us on Facebook so you can be informed as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.